let me try this again. And we're back. Let's get into it. Take 103. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my crafty corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to follow me on other social media, you can do so by following me over on Instagram as Piece4PeaceCrafting, or on Blue Sky as Piece4PeaceCrafting, or on Ravelry as Piece4PeaceCraft. And if you enjoy music and you would like to follow along to the playlist that goes with this podcast over on Spotify, you can do so by following the Piece4Peace Crafting Podcast playlist. If you have trouble, please feel free to shoot me a message over on Instagram and I can send it to you via DM. Hi everyone, how have you all been? I took a weekend off, so I'm coming to you a little bit later than I had expected to originally, but yeah, it was just a random, I needed the weekend. Things were really busy at work. I'd had like a little like anxiety thing, which everything's fine now. I like ended up, this is totally TMI, but I took myself to urgent care at one point because I was nervous about something, but everything checked out fine. Everything's good. So yeah, the last time I was supposed to podcast, I just really took the weekend to just get myself mentally back together, and am doing great now. I'm doing as well as I can now. Not great. Yeah, but I'm really excited to be back here with all of you. It's crazy, just that extra additional added length of time away from doing the podcast and trying to keep up on other folks' podcasts and just all the things. It's just been, not a lot, but a lot. Yeah, it is, which I'm sure most of you, in certain parts of the States, it is, pretending like it wants to become spring, although it snowed here 1 day ago. It didn't stick, but it was definitely those fat, juicy snowflakes. It was really pretty, but I was like, okay, we could be done with this, although I know we're not going to be done with this because Chicago. So yeah, we've had some snow. It's going to be 60 degrees the next couple days, and I'm sure it will dip back down again. Yeah, but I'm just kind of enjoying it and embracing the ness of it all. It's wonderful that we've been having some really beautiful, even though it's been a little bit cold, some really beautiful, just clear sky days. And I am recording this on Saturday, is it the 8th or the 9th? It is March 8th, which means that it's daylight savings time here, which means that tonight we will spring forward, which personally is my favorite time of year. I love when we spring forward. I love when I'm leaving a school and, the after school program is finishing and I'm walking outside and the sun is still out. That's sort of been happening, but it's going to be nice to, have the sun out. Even by the time I get home, and my evening walks with the dog will be, yeah, just like in the sunshine. This time of year makes me very happy. We're in March. It's my birthday month, so that's really fun. I think that's also why this time of year is very exciting for me. Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot going on, and I, like most, am just trying to like ride it out, stay afloat as much as possible, and do what I can when I can. So with that being said, let's chat about some things. I have two finished objects. That's crazy. Technically 2 whips. Oh no, 3 whips. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about one of them. So 2 FOs and 2 FOs and 3 whips that I am currently working on. And then which I don't typically share on here, but I am gonna at the end, like if you feel like you want to stick around to the end, I'm gonna share just a couple of things that I finished reading in the time that I've been away from you, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, and I have a music recommendation this time around too. If you are new here and you enjoy this content, please feel free to do all that fun YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and if you're returning, cheers, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing, I'm just kind of gonna go like FO working, oh no, actually let me start with this and then I'll go FO working. So I am currently working on a combo spin for a future project. It's not something that I'm probably gonna get on the needles, anytime soon, but I knew that I wanted to spin for it, and so I wanted to get that yarn made so that when I was ready to get to it, I didn't have to wait around to spin it. It would already be ready for me and I could just sort of cast on. So I have so many things to say. I have been doing some like cleaning, rearranging in my apartment. So I've made myself like a little, which is like just to the right of me, a little like spinning corner. So like my spinning wheel can fold up, the chair that I'm sitting on can fold up and just like sit against the wall if I ever want to do that, but like I don't. So it just sits and it has its own little like nook by my couch, which is really cool. And so in doing so, was just like cleaning out some things, like rearranging some stuff. And I forgot that I'd had this bag that I'd made. Oh, did you just hear my stomach growl? I'm so sorry. I had this bag that I made, and so this has become my my big spinning bag. So like I have, you can see right here, this little, behind this Lazy Kate, there is this fun little black and white bag, and that is a Scrappy Angel project bag, and that houses like all the little things that I need for my spinning stuff. Like if I collapse my, I have some like 3D printed bobbins, or like oil is in there. Just like little things that I need for my wheel live in this thing, extras of things. And then this bag is now like my fiber and the bobbins I'm currently working on, and a little apron so I don't get like fiber all over my lap when I'm spinning, and gauge tools and all that jazz. So what I've been working on is a little combo spin. So here's what I have so far. These 2 bobbins are completely done. So this is, one second, that's the other one. This gray, it's a little bit of a tonal, is from Apothecary Fabrications. And this is a Montana Corriedale wool. It says that it's 24 micron milled top. Is there a color? No, it's gray. And so this was the first thing I spun up. And then the second thing I spun up was this guy, and it is 1 second. It is You to Me to You, some fiber that was dyed by them. That's that label. And this is 100% Corriedale as well. And this is 29 microns. And this colorway is called Smoke Azurite. And so I have these two. I wish I would have taken a photo of the fiber before I started spinning them, but I mean, this is gray, so it's whatever. This has some darker bits of gray, some gray that's leaning this way, some like taupey colors. There's some beige that's in there at one point. So these two bobbins are completely spun up. These are my Anchor Works? Is that what the name of that company is? 3D printed bobbins. I love these. And then the last thing that I'm working on is the third, let me set these right here. The third bobbin that I'm working on is also Apothecary, and this is a 100% baby doll South Down, and it's 28 micron comb top. And so I am loving that. Those golds and grays are really fun in there. And so I just have this little bit left of the fiber. Basically what I did is this gray, I split into 4, like I just split the braid in 4 and spun it. It's all the same, slightly tonal, so it didn't really matter. With this first thing of Corriedale, I split the braid in 2, and then is that true? Yeah, I split the braid in 2, and then I just spun them in each one of them. So this is gonna have some longer color sections. And then with this baby doll South Down, I split the braid into 4. So these are gonna be smaller breaks in the colors over time. So I just have this little bit left, which is 1/4 of the braid. And then I am going to ply the 3 of these together. Now, if I'm being honest, I did have a moment of, I don't really know if these are gonna play well together, but I think the more that I go along with it, I am going to enjoy it. Yeah, I'm interested to see how they play together, but I do think that this is the vibe that I'm going for the project that I have in mind. Hopefully at some point, this will be a Cinnabar by Andrea Mowry. So this will be my contrast color, and then I'll purchase the main color is like a DK solid, and so I'll find something that goes along with that. I'm thinking more of like a creamier, lighter color, since this is probably going to end up being pretty dark once I'm done spinning this up. So that's that. Very excited to have that spinning project going. Yeah, it's fun to have a spinning project that I'm like consistently working on. You know, in the mornings, I've been getting up a little bit earlier, and while I'm waiting, this is so silly, but while I'm waiting for like the kettle to finish boiling the water in the morning, I just will sit at my wheel and have a moment to take a little bit of time, or in the evenings, if I don't want to sit down for a bigger spin, like if I'm like making myself dinner and I need to like preheat the oven, I know like, oh, this is gonna take 15 minutes. Let me just set a timer, and then I'll spin until like that's ready, and then I'll finish doing whatever it is I need to do. So that's fun. That's what's going on with my spinning stuff. So not an FO, but what I'm working on spinning wise. Moving into something that I have finished is I'm just gonna show these like this, and then I will pop in a video, but I finished a pair of the loose linen pants by Wardrobe by Me. And this time, this is my second time making this pattern, and this time I'm using a lightweight corduroy. Yeah, lightweight corduroy in sort of this burgundy color. I'll pop in the video here. I will say that I love the fit of these pants, hence why I made another pair. And yeah, I think I talked about this last time. I was trying to make another pair of corduroy pants and accidentally cut the fronts and the backs with what's the word? Shout it at me. The nape of the fabric was going in different directions. So the front of the pants look different from the back of the pants. And so those are sitting in a timeout for when I want to do some patchwork stuff over it. These I cut out and I did them properly, as you will have seen in the video that I just showed. Love the way that they turned out, and I just can't say enough of it. One of the alterations that I made is the pattern only calls for you to put one pocket on the back of the pant. And since, the fabric's folded anyway, and I'm cutting out the different pieces, once I go and cut out the pocket, I just cut out 2 of them and then flip the pattern so that I can place the pocket on the other side. So I have 2 back pockets instead of just one. Other than that, yeah, I follow the pattern like it says, and that's that. I did, when I cut out the fabric for the corduroy, I did also cut out the exact same pattern in a 12-ounce denim. So it's a little heavier of a denim. Yeah, and this is like ready to go. I think the only thing I've done so far is I've like ironed the interfacing for the pockets, and I've sewed that down. And so yeah, now I'm ready to go to finish this pair of pants, and I'm hoping that this weekend it's not gonna happen this weekend, but I'm hoping that this weekend I can get another pair of those pants finished. I'm really enjoying, for those of you who have been here for a while, you know that like I started, so it's just last summer that I like took a sewing class and have really been interested in and trying to get into just like making like literally my own wardrobe. And so the couple pairs of pants that I've made for myself, I wear constantly. They're denim too, so like denim is supposed to be worn, and so I wear them like a lot, 2 to 3 times a week, probably each pair. So I'm really excited to have added that corduroy, even though it is a color that's like, you can't wear that too many days in a row, or too many times a week, I should say. And another pair of denim pants will soon be in the mix. I love the fit of them. I like that they're a little bit oversized and it's not something that's too clingy. I'm really in a like, I just want to be comfy era. So like even the tops of the pants, I'm using elastic, and I have, you can see right here, I had a couple pairs of pants that had like a thick cord drawstring in them. And so when I chucked those, because they were just like worn well past I should have been wearing them, I was like, oh, I can use this cord for something else. So I'm going to take one of those cords and use it for this other pair of denim pants. So I'll have an elastic and the little just like thicker cord inside of it, which I think will be really cute. Yeah, that's that. Really exciting. So some fun stuff, gearing up for some more fun things to be happening making wise really soon. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to take this. The mic is stuck, so 1 second. Because I'm gonna want to stand up slightly. right, so let's get into some things that I have been knitting. The first thing being is I finished my, the pattern's here. The name just escaped me. The Montpellier Slipover by November Knits. So this is the pattern. I made the size 4, which if I were to get gauge would have been 50 and a half inches. This is a slipover that is made using US 6, 7, and 8 needles. My gauge was a little bit bigger. You're supposed to get 16 stitches. I think I was getting 17 or 18. I don't really remember. But you can see that in a previous video. But I knew that I wanted it to be bigger anyway because I was using a worsted weight yarn with a Surrey alpaca held together. So like my gauge was going to be a little bit bigger. I think in the pattern they're using a DK and a mohair to get like a worsted gauge. So yeah, the yarn that I used was this Malabrigo worsted, and so this is 260 yards for approximately 3.5 ounces, and does this have a color? Turig, maybe color 98. And then I held that because this is so highly it's just like there's tonal. There's a lot of variation in the color. I held it with this Knit Picks Surrey Dream in the color Midnight. I haven't looked to see if they make this Malabrigo color anymore. They don't make this Surrey anymore. Again, these were both yarns that I got from a friend of a friend who was getting rid of some stuff. I had 6 of these, of this worsted weight, and I used 4 of them, and then I think I had 6 or 5 of the Surrey, and I think I had 5 maybe, and I used almost 4. I think that's right. So this is the slipover. Now, a couple of modifications. 1, well, I did get gauge. And 2, I added a little bit of length to the front and back before I connected under the sleeves. I think I talked about that in the last episode. And then once I connected them, which is where I was in the last episode, I knit. I'll stand up for a second. I knit longer than what the pattern calls for because I think in the pattern it's slightly cropped. So mine comes all the way like just past my waist. I did 3 inches instead of 2 inches of ribbing on the bottom because I wanted it to just be a little bit longer. And then you finish it off with an Italian sewn bind off. I know that some people, when they do that, if they're holding a mohair or something with it, they will drop the mohair and just do it in the regular yarn. I didn't want to do that because of the color variation in the worsted weight that I was using. So I just held both together. Was it a little bit of a pain? Sure. But I love the finished look of it. And so I was fine just having all of that ness in there while I was doing it. I forgot how fun doing that bind off is once you get in the rhythm of it. I know some people like once I start that, I am not stopping until it's finished. I personally didn't have a problem. I started it one morning and then like while I was having coffee in the morning and then just stopped, before I started the the little patterning of it and just chill, went to work, came home, picked it back up, and was totally fine. The other modification that I made for this was the collar. It's supposed to have a turtleneck, and I knew that that was not going to be my personal vibe. I wanted something that was just like a mock, and so when I picked up for the collar, I was tired and I thought that I picked up the right number of stitches, but I was 2 stitches off, which totally fine. Did not bother me at all. Once I realized, I was like, oh, okay, like whatever, that's fine. It's 2 stitches. And so I knit the collar until about 3 inches, and then I tried it on. And if I'm being honest, when I tried it on, it sat a little bit further out because you're supposed to knit, let's say like 9 inches or something, so that you can fold it over. So like when it's folded, it's fine if it is loose around your neck a little bit, because you have all that extra material just to make sure that your neck is staying warm. And so that bummed me out, because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like cast off and it'll be fine. And so what I ended up doing to remedy that was I did 1 extra round where I decreased 4 extra stitches. So not only did I pick up 2 less stitches when I initially started, I decreased the very last row that I was working on by 4 stitches to just bring in that neckline slightly. And then I did my 2 rows of double knitting, like the setup rows before you do the Italian sewn bind off, and then I did the bind off for the neck, and I loved the way that it finished, if I'm being honest. I still I still need to block this, but even just wearing it unblocked, I think that it looks fantastic. I didn't think that I was really a vest person, and when I went to try it on initially, once I bound off for the neckline, I was like, oh no, I'm about to wear the crap out of this. So that makes me really excited, especially because I have another vest that I'm going to be doing to wear later in the year, to go to Rhinebeck with friends. And honestly, I want to make another one of these just because I really enjoy how it looked, and I already have yarn for that too. Again, some yarn that was gifted to me. I'm just going to use it to make another one. I think that's it on that. So yeah, again, that's the Montpellier Slipover by November Knits. Loved it. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out, and I'm really glad that I went with the blue and not, I was going to use like a variegated color that I actually ended up sending to someone because I knew that I wouldn't use it. So I think, yeah, it's subtle, but it's still fun. I love the marled look. It's really great. Moving right along, the last thing I have to show you is so like I said, I was like not feeling 100, and the one day that I not the one day, one of the day, what am I talking about? The day that I was out, and I ended up just like going to see someone to make sure like my vitals and things were okay. Yeah, I like had like a dizzy spell while I was like on my way to go teach a class. It wasn't good. Well, I didn't think it was good. And anyway, I ended up going to see someone, and they're like, everything seems fine. You could have been overheating, a lot of different things. So I was really thankful that I had, at the beginning of the day, before all of that happened, I just like threw a pair of socks that I had started in my bag, because I was like, oh, I haven't worked on a pair of socks in a while. And so in this beautiful sister bag, I had some leftovers. I don't know the color because I don't have the band anymore, of some woolens and nosh socks that I'd made. And the toes, just like in a plain, I was doing this for a while, like using my leftovers to make shorties. and I was just using this brown for heels and toes. The toes were already done, so all I had to do was just start. So while I was waiting to see the doctor, I picked up and started working on these socks, which are going to be a shorty pair of socks, which is so fun. So these are Woolens and Nosh. I don't know the color. It was one of the club colors. I made a full pair of socks, so somewhere in the nest of all these videos that I've put out, you can go back, and I'm sure that I've talked about this color. I am doing these 2 at a time on a US 1 using ChiaoGoo red lace needles. The cord I think is 32. I know some people have asked that in the past. And yeah, I initially would have cast on with a, what's that cast on I do? Oh, I haven't like done a pair of top socks in a minute. I do a cast on and I increase to 68 stitches. And then we'll knit until this yarn runs out. These are going to be a pair of shorties. I can't believe I can't remember the name of that cast on right now. That's going to bother me. Anywho, these are great. I'm very excited for them. And it's nice to... I know I was making a bunch of socks from tubes, which counts. But it's nice to just like... I was really happy that I had this while I was waiting, because I probably waited for like an hour. Of just like some stockinette, just in the rhythm of doing socks again. It was really nice. So glad that the universe told me to put these in my bag, especially considering that I ended up waiting in a waiting room for a while. And that's that, y'all. That's all the crafty stuff that I am currently working on. I know, hopefully for the next episode, I had all the centers to that other baby blanket that I was working on. So I need to finish up, that's a little crochet project. I need to do the borders and sew that together. And I would love to do that before the next episode, because at the end of the month, I have to go out of town for work. And I would love to give that to my friend to give to her sister before I leave to go out of town for work. I also have a pair of booties that are crocheted that are for another friend that I would love to also have finished and sent off in the mail to them before I leave to go on this trip too. Other than that, yeah, I'm hoping to finish this spin that I'm working on, get those pants that I have cut out, get those sewn up, and yeah. Knitting wise, I'm going to be working on those socks, and I'm going to bust back out my Gib 2 sweater that I'd started like way back. Yeah, just to pick that back up. Like, I was looking at it the other day, and like I've already picked up to start the sleeves. And so I'm just gonna, like, the yoke is done, I've separated, I've connected, I'm just gonna start the sleeves and then go back and do the body. So hopefully in the next episode, I'll have some progress to show you all on that. Yeah, I'm kind of just like slowly working through things. There's stuff that I've started. We're gonna get back to this, and we're just gonna like be in it and going through the nest of it all. I also want to get back out my shawl that I started for the From a Book Mal that I am co-hosting with the fellows over at Fiber Hustle and the guys at Needles At the Ready. Yeah, there's a lot of like whips just hanging out that I want to get back to. So that's fun. All right, quickly, just before we go, I have been taking my either Kindle or just like some physical books. I've been trying to utilize the library a lot lately, just because at the beginning of the year I'd set out to, I think last year at the beginning of the year I was like, I want to read more, and I started the year off really strong, and then just like a lot of things happened. Like I had to move, and just the summer came and my life got flipped upside down. Not in a bad way, just like in a way that's different. And so I didn't read as much as I wanted to. And so this year I was like, okay, my goal, and I think I've talked about this already. I watch a lot of Book Talk or BookTube, and it's always funny to me when people are like, I read 490 books this year. I'm like, okay, that's not for me. I was just like, I want to read 12, like one a month. I'll be good. Love that for me. I'm doing more than that just because of the books that I am reading. And so I just wanted to share a couple that I'd finished since the last time that I've spoken to you. I was definitely reading one of them the last time that I spoke to you, but it's done now. Okay, and so the first book that I would like to recommend is a short novel. It's 100 pages. It's called Minor Detail. If I remember, I'll try to put a photo here of the cover of it. And that book is by Adania Shibble, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She is a Palestinian author, an essayist, and this book is 2 stories in one, so each are about 50 pages. The first half of the novel takes place in the 40s. Yeah, the 40s, the end of the 40s. And there is a story. You're following like a soldier, but the story is really about this girl. And then the second half of the book is more present day. A woman who is living in like occupied territory in Palestine, and she gets fixated on the events that happened in the first part of the book. Anyway, I thought it was really good. It's only 100 pages. It's a little bit heavy, but it was good to read a story from that voice. I think on the story graph, I use the story graph to track all of my reading, just because I love I love a lot of things about it, but the graphs and the way that you like go about reviewing things, it's not like Goodreads where that I feel like is more geared to be like social media oriented, where people are like leaving reviews and there's chatter back. There's none of that over on the story. It's like for people who like to read. Everybody has to, when you finish a book, everyone's filling out the literal same review thing, like sheet. And then if you want, you can add additional things at the bottom of it, but it's not, yeah, it's really great. I love the way that they've set that up so that like, it's just very basic. It's like, oh, these are the things that I want to know about the book. I don't need to know about why your grandma influenced you to read this book. Like, it's not that deep for me. Yeah, so I think I rated that like a 4.25 on there. Yeah, really enjoyed it. The other book that I read was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. A lot of people on here, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, in my life, have been saying that they too have read this book and they really enjoyed it. I loved it. I feel like I may have given it 5 stars over on the story graph. This book is really about so many things, but it follows primarily 2 friends, which end up becoming like a small group of friends who meet. This isn't giving anything away because this is in the very beginning of the book. They meet like in a hospital and they both enjoy playing video games, and the story unfolds from there. It spans like 30 years. And it's non-linear, so you go back and forth between like, you know, what's happening in their lives currently, and then like flashbacks to things that happen to both of them or all of them, like in their younger versions of themselves. Highly recommend, really great. Even if you don't play video games, it's still, like, I know a few people who are like, I'm not into video games, and this was a great time. It's not the main focus, but it is the main focus. Anyway, it's hard to describe. Go check it out. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. It was also we have a thing here called One Book Chicago, where the libraries recommend something that everyone in the city should be reading. And this was one of the One Book Chicago books from last year. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, it was also on my TBR, and yeah, good times. And then the last book that I actually just finished was Swimming in the Dark by Tomasz Jedrowski. I know I butchered his last name. Anyway, this book, Swimming in the Dark, was another short novel. I think it was 200 pages. It was his debut novel. This book was set in 1980s. I don't want people to think like I'm reading very dramatic things, but like I'm reading very dramatic things. Set in the 1980s, communist Poland. It's like a coming of age queer novel. Yeah, set with that backdrop. The way that it's written is really beautiful, but if I'm being honest, it took me a second to just like get into, especially coming off of Tomorrow, where it read like sort of how I think. And so it was a little bit easier for me to just like get into a rhythm of it. The language was just a little bit different. And so it took me a second to get into, but once I was in it, I was like in it. This book was also very beautiful. I think I gave it 4.25 stars on the Storygraph as well. Highly recommend. I would just like read what it's about before you dive into it, but there aren't any like wild trigger warnings or anything. A lot of the people that I saw who recommended it, like on Book Talk or BookTube, said like if you like Call Me by Your Name, you would like this book, although this book is between two people who are the same age and consenting adults. They're like in their, like, I would say like 19 to 24-ish age range, but they're both the same age, which is really great. So yeah, all three of those books were wonderful. I've been, not taking my knitting. Well, I always have knitting on me, but I've been reading on the bus more during my commutes, and I've really been enjoying that a lot lately. And just using the library. And then the last thing, which I don't know if you can do this on Goodreads. I love that you can do this on the Storygraph. You can go into your TBR or your to be read, and because of the way that they filter things and the community, since we're all doing the same reviews of things, I can go into my TBR and I can just do I can filter it. I want to read something that is less than 300 pages. I want the pace of the book to be like a medium speed, and I can't remember what other filter I put on it, but like I know under 300 and medium pace were two of the things that I put in, and then it just filters out through your TBR and it gives you stuff that you already have in there based on those mood prompts or whatever. And so one of the books that popped up, which is something that I definitely wanted to read, was this book called Don't Cry for Me. It's a novel by Daniel Black. And this book, I just started it like yesterday, and I'm maybe 25 pages in. This book is about, well, the little that I know. A dad, he is dying. So trigger warning. A dad who is dying, and while he's waiting for that to happen, he ends up writing a bunch of letters to his son, who they have not spoken in, I think, like 10 to 15 years, maybe. I don't remember. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe of it. And yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's really good. I know that the same author has put out another book, I think recently, this year or the end of last year, I don't remember, that is sort of like not sequel, but it is like a sequel to this book, and it is just like the son that's mentioned in this book, like his life, what he's doing, living in Chicago. So I'm really excited to, once I'm done reading this book, to check out that one. Probably not back to back. I've learned about myself that things that are in a series, or that can, like that's like 2 books or whatever, who have not the same but share characters, I like can't do back to back anymore. It makes me feel like I don't care about these people when like I want to care about these people. So that's what I'm currently reading. Really excited to dive into that a little bit more. Hopefully I can get some reading done with that today too. The last thing that I have for you all, this is a very chatty episode. The last thing that I have for you all is a music recommendation. And what I'm going to recommend to you all this episode is this, I think it's from 2000. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this album will be turning 25 this year. This is Erykah Badu's second album, titled Mama's Gun. I love this album, hence why I have it on vinyl. The songs that I would recommend off of here are Kiss Me on My Neck. I love that song, like a lot. Kiss Me on My Neck. Orange Moon is really good. And Bag Lady. Those will be my 3. Can you stop licking the tripod, weirdo? So Kiss Me on My Neck, Orange Moon, and Bag Lady. I will drop those over in the playlist over on Spotify. If you enjoy those, feel free to check out the rest of this album. It's very good. And so that's that. Thanks everyone for coming back to view another episode. I am happy to be back, even though it was just one weekend. It feels like it's been way longer than that. Been doing a lot of different things and just trying to enjoy the things as they come and know that that is okay. So the making is going to be at a pace that it needs to be at, and enjoying adding other things to the mix. My reading, my movie going, my music listening. There's always something happening. So until I see you all in 2 weeks, I hope everyone is enjoying the seasonal shift if it's happening in your area. If not, we're just gonna hold on to winter here in the Northern Hemisphere a little bit longer. I don't like saying that. Try not to get hung up on your productivity in the next 2 weeks, and just make it the pace your body's telling you that it wants to make at. I think that's the vibe for right now. That's the vibe going into spring. Let's make it the pace our bodies are telling us to make at. And until I see you next time, make a peace, spread some peace. Peace.